Hello, everyone, and welcome to another JordanCon interview. I am joined today by the lovely Sarah J. Sover. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me today.
Happy to be here.
Yay! And your debut novel, Double Crossing the Bridge. It hit Amazon's bestseller list for humorous fantasy. Which I just want to take a beat off of reading your bio real quick to say that's a big deal. And a lot of people, you don't think about it. I mean, Amazon is an international company. So, that. People know that. But, when things hit the Amazon's bestseller list, that's a big deal. And so, because that means you're doing good worldwide. And that's really cool. So, just congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. It's usually the result of a promotion that you're running.
That's fair enough, but
From
still.
the other side of things, I didn't get my little orange banner. I really wanted the orange banner. I didn't make it to #1, but it's still kind of cool to see your book next to Hogfather.
Yeah,
because
awesome.
I have a screenshot, and it wasn't even as high as it went, but it was there was me and there was Hogfather. I was like, oh my god.
That's great. That's so cool.
But that's because it was 99¢.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's Amazon.
Obviously.
Yeah. So you also write crossover stories, and you have the Fairy God Murder, which is fantastic. I love everything, any book to do with the Fae. I'm in there. I love it. I love that myth, the real world mythology of it from all over the place, all over Europe, up and down, from Scotland and Ireland and the Norway all the way down to Southern Europe. And really, when you think about it, the Fae and their type of mythology kind of permeates every culture. The worlds beneath and stuff like that. It's everywhere. The hidden world, or however you want to call it. But anyway, Fairy God Murder, which is starring a fairy godmother with a vendetta and a killer pair of Doc Martens, which I love that line. That's so great. It's going to be the first in a noir fractured Fae series with publisher of your publisher Falstaff Books, John Hartness. I love Falstaff. I love John. Fantastic. Good pairing.
Me too.
Good pairing with you and him.
Yes.
Additionally, Sarah writes short fiction about bumbling knights and impossible baby krakens. You have a degree in biology from Georgia State University. That's awesome.
Georgia Southern.
Southern University. I'm sorry. I'm not a Georgia college person, but I know people get very particular when it comes to college sports or alumnuses. So yeah, no, I get it. You got a background in animal care. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sarah can craft worlds capable of turning the strongest stomachs, which is I can't wait to see Fairy God Murder. I'm so excited.
That was my crowning achievement was the Kirkus review that said it said something about with can gross out readers in a way that is nothing short of gleeful or something like that. And I was like, yes, you see my heart.
Yeah, it's amazing. No, I love that. That's so great. And I love noir. I love that type of story. I love how I love urban fantasy or just fantasy set in, not sword and sorcerer time. I mean, I love that too. I love The Wheel of Time and I enjoyed Song of Ice and Fire when it first came out. But just the way authors play with real world mythology and real world stuff into their world building and their magic systems and their characters is really fun for me to read.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm excited to check it out. Let's see, where else were we? I'm sorry. So in addition to the fiction, you've also written about world building with ecology for Dan Cobalt's Putting the Fact in Fantasy, about the love of tropes for Writer's Digest magazine. So that's really cool. When you're not writing, Sarah is raising two small tyrants with her husband Alex, a rescue pup named Gandalf the Grey, and a danger noodle named, is it Santana?
Yeah.
That's great.
Because he's so smooth.
I love it. It's fantastic. Oh, man. So I want to jump right into it. Like I said, the Amazon bestseller listing, that's really cool. That's so awesome. Congratulations again, and oh man, I can't wait to read Fairy Godmother. Anyway, so you have an interest in the Fae, obviously, I'm guessing.
Oh,
So,
yes.
what drew you to that? What attracted you specifically to that type of mythology and lore?
I don't really know. I don't know if it's, I mean, I'm pretty much, I did the ancestry.com and I did the DNA testing with 23andMe, and I came up, I'm pretty much an Irish Viking. I mean, those are the two parts of me. So,
That's cool.
I don't know if it's that or, I mean, I grew up on David the Gnome and Jim Henson, everything,
Yep.
and Fern Gully, and like all that stuff.
The baddie.
So I'm like, I feel like it was kind of inevitable that I would end up here, but it was really Arthurian legend that was my gateway into fantasy. Sometime in, I don't know if it was middle school or early high school, I got really into Arthurian legend. And I became obsessed. My first guitar's name was Morgana. It was a whole thing.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I think that, I don't know, all roads kind of led me here,
Yeah. No, I definitely get that. So in without being any spoilery, we don't want to be too spoilery, but like I said, I really like to see how authors twist, maybe not twist, or adapt their writing to the real world mythology and vice versa. So how does your flavor of Fae in the Fairy Godmurder work toward any other kind or even just the real world version of the Fae?
Okay, well, I include all folklore and legendary creatures in under this blanket, Fae title.
Yeah.
And they're living among us. And of course, we have the Seelie and the Unseelie because you have to. And I like the ugly things. So I don't know if it's like the background in the animal stuff or what, but I'm drawn to more of the earthy gnomes and trolls, obviously, and things like that. So I mean, there's a place for the pretty.
Yeah.
It's just not here.
That's perfectly that's fair. So a lot of unseelie things then,
Not necessarily.
Okay.
In Fairy Godmurder, Gwen is actually Seelie royalty, but she's so far down the chain of inheritance that she's able to get away from her domineering, like emotionally stifled family, and go blaze her own path. But the only way she can do that is by joining the Fairy Godmother or the Fairy Godparent Academy, because that's the only job that they're okay with letting her go do, but they're still really pissed off about it. So she goes off to do that to escape them, ends up meeting this beautiful sparkly princess and hates her guts immediately. And so she's got a chip on her shoulder from day one, but then she finally makes friends with this girl, realizes that she's awesome, becomes really tight with her. They share some real moments, and then she gets murdered. And I know it's terrible to fridge the princess, but I did. We do get to know her though, so she's not just some faceless, sparkly princess. She's actually really cool in her own bubbly, annoying kind of way.
And it's not like you in the sense of fridging, it wasn't just to give the main character some sort of sadness as a plot driving point or anything like that.
No, I mean, no and yes. I mean, it's a noir story.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but they're a fully fledged character, so that's
right. She is a fully fledged character.
Yeah.
And that's why Gwen discovers all these layers to her. We've actually got a dual timeline, so we see what happened back then, and we see what is happening now.
That's cool.
And so we kind of we know she's gonna die at the very beginning, but we don't know how.
So not a spoiler, really.
Yeah, it's not a spoiler. I mean, obviously it's in all my pitches. But yeah, so I really kind of like the dirty and the gritty, and I have a lot of fun with right now I'm writing book 2, and I'm having a lot of fun with some of the goblins that I'm using there.
That's cool.
I've deviated a bit from what a goblin normally is. So.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. And a little off topic, but I like how a lot of not even just fantasy writing, but like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that are getting away from a lot of those built-in tropic things about their races and their characters and their classes, and they're allowing it to branch out because they're seeing, first of all, I mean, it's a marketing thing. They know that that's what their people, that's what their consumers want. But it's good to see that it's adapting to these types of things, and to get away.
The great thing about
no, you go ahead. This is your interview.
The great thing about those tropes though is that they set expectations, and then you can screw with them.
And then you get to break it
right out from under your readers, and it's so much fun. Yeah. So I love tropes.
I gotta say, some of my favorite things that have come from these interviews are the little things like that. Like, I love to screw with my readers and pull the carpet out from under them of expectations they find. I mean, I can only imagine how fun that is to play with those types of things in your books. Mm-hmm. Is there any real world fae lore or just monster folklore type thing that particularly interests you, or that you haven't already written about, or that you're currently writing about, that you particularly like, or anything like that?
I mean, I love them all. I love gnomes. I have a gnome army in my front yard. That's and awesome. We're looking to upgrade our house because we need a little bit more space right now. Yeah. And we want to stay in the area that we're in. And every house that's an upgrade from here is going to have an HOA that does not want my gnome army. Okay. So I don't know what we're going to do. I guess they're all going to have to move to the backyard. Yeah, but I adore gnomes. The best thing ever happened the other day, though. I have gnomes all over. Mm-hmm. And actually, it was a few months ago. I go out to check the mail, and somebody, and I still don't know who to this day, had put one of those dinosaurs eating gnomes. Oh God, that's awesome! Like a little statue like this, and it is eating gnomes right next to my gnomes on a seesaw. I asked everybody, like I messaged every friend that it was on my suspect list, and nobody came forward. I even went on Nextdoor. I was like, "Who did this?
This is awesome! I want to be your friend. Just tell me."
So yeah, there are gnomes throughout pretty much everything that I do. They haven't been my main characters, but they're around. They're everywhere.
That's fantastic. I love that. I'm sorry. I'm just picturing the gnomes in my head. My wife has wanted to do like one of those like little fairy gardens for a long time. So we also have like a bunch of little tiny gnomes and mushroom things that we've either printed, bought, or made in the last couple of years. And we also moved to an area with an HOA that probably won't like that in the front yard either. So I'm
Bilbo in the front yard. Yeah. I got Bilbo in the front yard too. He goes on adventures. Yeah. My 8-year-old loves it. She's like, "Where's Bilbo?" Half the time she's the one who moved him.
That's amazing. I love it. That's so fun. So are you? I don't want to say like that, but are you indoctrinating the small one into the world of fantasy and lore?
Oh, you have no idea. It didn't take much. Right now, she's convinced that she's a half-blood, and I don't know who she thinks. Which me or my husband is not really her parent, but she's pretty sure that she has a godparent. She's so into Percy Jackson right now.
Oh, that's so cool.
We read all of the Percy Jackson books, and now we're doing all the offshoot series.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She also watched me play Hades a lot. And she went to school dressed as the Hades version of Megara.
That's awesome. Oh my God. She's going to be the coolest kid ever.
She's going to be at JordanCon hawking my books.
Oh, that's exciting. That's so exciting. She
doesn't know if she's going to dress up. She was going to dress up as one of my characters, but then I told her that she could be a Percy Jackson character, so it's all over for me.
That's it. Sorry, Mom. Sorry about your books. I don't care. Percy Jackson.
Yeah, so I'm going to say yes, I'm indoctrinating.
That's great. I love it.
The 4-year-old doesn't know what's happening right now.
That's so great. Oh man, yeah, she's gonna be a really cool kid. I want to be friends with her now because it's like that's such a cool mom. I wish my parents were even a tenth or 1% into any of this kind of nerd stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were great, but yeah, no. Nothing nerd in our house other than what was in my room.
Got the older one, the younger one. Watch, she's gonna turn on me. She's gonna be embarrassed. She's gonna be like, "What? What is this? All this? No,
thanks.
I can already tell."
or she might be into all of like the princess side of the fairy stuff.
As long as she's not a cheerleader, I'm there.
Fair enough.
Heck, even if she's a cheerleader, I'm there.
Yeah,
I don't know where my pom poms at. Oh God. Please no.
But no, it's all fine. It's fine. We won't make you dance now yet. So where did this love of fantasy and stuff come from? Were your parents influences? Do you have an older sibling, a teacher, something like that?
No, probably my mom. I mean, I remember reading The Secret Garden with my mom, and there was something magical about it. And it was every day when I came home from school, we'd read another chapter. And I know it's not fantasy, but it felt like it with like the door hidden under the wall. And I there should be fairies there.
There should be. I 100% agree with you.
But no, she always kind of taught me to believe in magic around me.
That's cool.
And then she wondered where she went wrong. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. She's a big supporter. But
yeah, that's great. So also in one of your bios that I read when I was checking you out before this interview, not that I don't already know a lot of this stuff because you've been to JordanCon before, but it said that you like to adventure around in Hyrule. So obviously you're a gamer, right? That means I mean you just mentioned you played Hades too, so which was a great game.
I don't know what qualifies you as a gamer.
You play games?
I play games.
You're a gamer.
I only just last week started actually connecting with other people through things. I never did any of that. I've always played by myself.
Yeah.
Or with my husband. We play a whole lot of Mario Kart.
Me too. I mean, I haven't played a lot on the Switch yet, but I used to forget about it. How many hours I spent on SNES playing Mario Kart.
We've got an Xbox, a Switch, and a PS5 all hooked up to the TV right now.
That's awesome. And do you play with the kids too? Obviously. But...
Yeah. Well, they play Mario Party and things like that.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun though.
Yeah. My daughter is really into all of the Mario stuff. She actually wakes up in the morning and goes downstairs and puts on YouTube videos of walkthroughs. We've had to ban YouTube because I don't know what she's gonna find.
Yeah, that's true.
And she has her favorite people that she watches, which I can't stand watching walkthroughs. I don't like watching other people play.
Me either. And it feels like you should. It feels like I should enjoy it because I love video games and I like watching content creators, and sometimes they themselves are characters and are funny, and I just can't get into it either. I feel you there.
She's watched all of it. She plays Paper Mario and Odyssey.
That's great. Oh man, I wish my parents played games with me. That's awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, my dad played a lot of Mario Kart with me, but it wasn't this shared type of relationship. I'm a little jealous, just a skosh.
We're also doing a little bit of tabletop gaming with her. She which is funny because I never really did a whole lot, but I got the Labyrinth game and Castlevania, and now I just got Everdell for her, and she just loves this stuff.
That's so cool.
I think a lot of it's she loves just going back with me and playing with magical things.
Yeah, that's so much fun. That's awesome.
So it's just the two of us. We'll go hide out for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. And like tabletop role playing with that's so cool. I didn't see the labyrinth game. I didn't know that they made one.
There is.
That's so cool.
There is. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I gotta check that out. Anyway, all right. I digress. So yeah, and you qualify as a gamer if you play a game. Like I don't get behind all that gatekeeping nonsense that permeates that type of culture. You play a game, you're a gamer. You enjoy it, you're a gamer. That's fine. You're good. Did you play Breath of the Wild?
I did. I was playing that all the way up until about 2 months ago, and I was running all over the place. I was gathering up stuff and. Then my husband told me Mario Rabbids was coming out at the end of the year. He's a liar. It's coming out at the end of next year.
Oh.
So I went. I wasn't even ready to do it yet. I was still halfway through side quests. I got Zelda's horse, but I was still doing stuff. You know?
Yeah.
I went and I ended up rushing the end and beating Calamity Ganon, and now I was gonna go back. I was so mad. I was like, I gotta free up. Oh, I gotta free up time because we're gonna play. We love Rabbids. It's so fun. I don't know if you've played that at all.
I have.
But yeah, we just like the strategy of it, and the it's something we can do together too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was so angry, and I was gonna go back and do some more, but then I remembered I never actually beat Ocarina of Time.
Really?
So I started playing that again.
On the Switch.
And I was about 3/4 of the way through that on the Switch.
Yeah.
There was like a NES 64 simulator or something.
Yeah.
And I was about 3/4 of the way through that, and then Gerald was like, "Hey, do you play Ghosts of how do you say it? Tsushima? Tsushima.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, should I? Yeah, go play that. So that's what we've been doing lately.
I mean, for the people watching at home, that's Gerald Coleman, who's another guest author at JordanCon. He's a schemer. That one. He's pulled a couple of us into playing that. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic, but
it's awesome.
Yeah.
But now he's talking about some other game. I'm like, no, I'm playing this. I just learned all of this game.
Listen. I have only so many spoons. These are my spoons.
Right.
They are dedicated to Ghost of Tsushima right now.
Yes, exactly.
Man, that's great. So I've been ending these interviews with a series of questions taken from a show that I grew up watching. I love watching. I watched it with my mom when I was a kid, and right up until, sadly, he passed away, as we all do. The late, great James Lipton, and that's Inside the Actors Studio. So naturally, since I loved it so much, whenever I thought of interview, he is the first thing I thought of, and I was like, I'm including it because I'm doing these interviews, and screw you, I don't care if you don't want me to do it. That's what I said. Not really. We're all friends at JordanCon, and they said I could do whatever I want. So anyway, I've taken what he would usually do is interview celebrities, mostly like 99% actors, film, TV, theater, and at the end of those interviews, he would ask a batch of questions. I took some of my favorite questions from that batch so that they're not like, I think it was like 10 or 15 questions, and I've just taken a few that I really like. And I'm going to do them now. Anyway, with no more preamble. What is your favorite word?
Really have a favorite word. I'm sure that a lot of the writers that you're interviewing probably have a whole list of them, but I don't write because I love words. I write because I love stories.
Okay.
I would say probably get the beat button ready, but fuck, it's the most versatile word that we have.
Absolutely.
So I use it a lot. Ask my kids.
Yeah. Me too, man. I mean, I'm from New York, and I used to work construction, so every other word out of my mouth is usually fuck, so don't worry about it.
I try to censor it, but you know.
I mean, there's a time and a place, and it's usually always. So the next question, which is what is your least favorite word, I can kind of change a little bit just to help. So maybe not your least favorite word, but what is a word that, you know, maybe doesn't bring you joy when you hear, or you'd like to, or that you avoid in common conversation, or something like that. Maybe not your least favorite word, unless you have one of those two.
Maybe sardonic, which is really funny because I write a whole lot of characters that could be applied to. But something about the word, it feels like a lot of times when it's used, it's used as it feels like the author is using it as like an elevated way of saying sarcastic and not actually using it for its distinct meaning.
Yeah,
and it just kind of bugs me.
Oh, that's fair. That's entirely fair.
And moist is just fine. I don't know why everybody hates moist. I don't know.
I agree with you. I mean, I mean, there are some people that if they say it, I'd be like, that was a little gross. But
I guess
I don't have any
sounds altogether.
Yeah, I don't have that big of an issue with it. But funnily enough, a few authors did, which will be great if people watch these consecutively. What is the first thing that you notice about another person when you meet them?
So this is gonna sound all like new age hippie, but their energy.
Okay, no, man, I'm right there with you. Yeah.
That's really is the first thing, and which is also really funny because I know it's hard to believe in these contexts and stuff, but I am an introvert. And
me too.
Sometimes when you see me, I'm I look like I'm either very focused and I know where I'm going, which I don't. I'm just wandering from one side of the room to the other because I feel really awkward. So you can stop me, get in my way, and be like, goats, and I'll be like, I don't actually know what I'm doing, or I look like I'm going to collapse into a corner half the time, or I have put on the extrovert like flesh suit.
Yeah. So, I'm right there with you.
But so I kind of notice other people's energy, even though mine might look off to other people. So.
No, I completely understand that. Sometimes you just get a bad vibe. And it might not be about a person specifically. It might be a situation or a room that you're in and like what's going on. And I totally get that. I absolutely get that. Is other than your current profession or any other profession that you might have done, in the course of your life, given all the time and resources that you would need, what would be a profession that you would like to attempt, or would have liked to attempt?
So, nothing that I want to do is lucrative.
It doesn't matter
those
about
resources.
The word profession has that connotation to it, but it's more like just something that you would like to do. It doesn't have to be a job.
Mm-hmm. Well, something I kind of tried to break into was I was a vet tech for a while, and I was also a wildlife rehabilitator. And I wanted to start my own wildlife rehabilitation center at one point. But then I realized that once you know what you're doing with animals, there's a cosmic signal out in the world that tells every injured and orphaned anything that this person is a sucker. And they show up on your doorstep. You go out to the bar, you find a squirrel. Like,
you're coming home tonight.
It just happens, and there's never an off switch. And I also wanted to have a family. So
fair enough.
So it kind of takes over your life.
Yeah.
But one thing I tried to get into at one point was working for the zoo. I wanted to get into just the zookeeper stuff.
That's cool.
But I made it twice. I made it into their interview process. The first time I didn't make a call back. And then the second time I was at the time making, I think in the 60s or whatever, working for the county. And they told me, they're like, we're not going to be able to get anywhere close to where you're going to want to be. I'm like, I'll take another job. It's okay. Just hire me, please. I will work 2 jobs to do this, but it didn't go beyond that. So I think they thought I'd leave.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I wasn't going to leave. But so yeah, a zookeeper, is that weird?
No, absolutely not. That's awesome. I mean, I also love animals. I mostly stick with the felines, but I love all animals. I mean, the only reason our house isn't overrun with things is because my wife is allergic to life. Just all life.
Yeah.
But the least animal that she's allergic to is cats, so we have 2 of those. But no, yeah, I also would just bring them all in my house. She's actually mentioned now that we moved into a slightly bigger house. She's like, we have more cat slots now, so we can we should check into that. So
nice.
So we're going to be looking into getting a couple more soon, probably. And then the last one, which you've kind of already answered, but I'll ask it anyway, so that we could prompt it again, because it's great, and I agree with you. What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the diversity of the word that is absolutely the reason.
Yes, absolutely. No, that's pretty much it. It doesn't go.
No, it doesn't. And mainly because it's like, depending on just in the way you say it, it can mean something great, something good, something surprising, something bad, something terrible, like all over the spectrum. Just that one word. Yeah. You don't even need to put any kind of other codifiers on it. There doesn't need an ed, an ing, nothing. Just but it can take all of those too. So it's really a great word. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming and hang out with me today. If anyone has enjoyed this interview and you want to go check out more Sarah, check her out over on Twitter and Instagram at Sarah J. Sover. And you could find her on Facebook at just SJ Sover. And all things Sarah at just sarahjsover.com. So thank you for coming.
Try to keep it easy.
Yeah, I mean, super easy. I mean, what's easier than that? And it's all the same across the board. We don't have any deviations in it. So
also pre-order Faerie Godmurder, not Conflict Born, because Richard Fife is a demon.
Oh, actually, we've had a couple of people. While I have you here, we've had a couple of other authors shout out for Team Sarah as well, and I also am Team Sarah. So yes, please.
Oh, you must have interviewed my best friend Sarah Bond.
I did. and I already pre-ordered Fairy God Murder, so don't worry about it.
Awesome, thank you.
I'll wait. I'm gonna get Richard's too because I you got to support your friends.
Yeah,
but I'm waiting. I'm gonna wait.
I'm actually reading an arc of it right now. It's fabulous.
That's great. I've loved your little back and forths that we've had that we've seen on the JordanCon Facebook. It's been great.
It's a lot of fun. I'm supposed to be writing a book. Instead, I am making videos slamming Fife. I don't know.
It's wonderful. It's
Sorry, John.
Wonderful.
Might need an extension on that deadline.
Oh man, I can't wait to see you at JordanCon, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.